Other people have fits to clean their house come spring. Most folks I know are all aflutter over spring cleaning. Me, it's all about autumn cleaning, and I know why. It's seeing the world outside, getting rid of the excess and dusting itself off, if you can call the way the wind carries away the leaves as dusting. And it's wanting to have the world's tidiest cave. I'm going to hunker down for a couple of months in the winter to come, and I generally do. Then I want my hunkering down space to be welcome. I'm seriously into spiritual house cleaning at this time of the year. When I began studying Zen Buddhism, I was struggling to connect to it, until I started reading things about the spiritual possibility of cleaning the house and having a clean house. And there was a time when I had a collection of books on that very subject, and believe me, there are a lot of them out there on this particular Buddhist perspective. I then explored alignments to the home, such as Feng Shui and Vastu Shastra. While the placements of objects that are so carefully considered in both Feng Shui and Vastu Shastra did not resonate with me, other than as a curiosity, the spirit of care of place, which is part of both of those practices, did. My reflection for the day is twofold. First, it's a quote from Llewellyn Vaughan Lee in his book, Spiritual Ecology: 10 Practices to Reawaken the Sacred in Everyday Life. This book is small in size, but I found it a huge inspiration. What leaped out of its pages to inspire me was that something like house cleaning, when done with love, is a way to honor our connection to all things. I don't know if that makes sense to those of you who have not been a cleaning Mimi, as I have been most of my life. Perhaps this quote from Llewellyn will explain it. Cleaning a table, dusting a shelf. I give attention and love because everything responds to love and care, not just people or animals or plants, but everything. I feel strongly that just as I should only have what I need, I should only have what I can look after, love, and care for. It is a simple recognition of the sacred that is present within everything, and a way to live from the heart in everyday life. That's the first inspiration. It's in my journal with my note on it that says, Annie, start cleaning. I have a second bit of inspiration, which is a poem I wrote with the word of the day being austerity. I don't remember now why such a firm word came out of my moments in nature the day I wrote the poem. Perhaps it was a particularly cold and frosty autumn day. I don't know that austerity is a word I describe the poem today, the same time this year. I'll think about what my new name for it might be. But my reflection is, in the time of stillness and hanging on to what was, the garden is acutely aware of its remains. What matters the most lies beneath the ground. Autumn settles into sharpness of being. Stripped of greenery, earth reveals its bare-boned beauty. In the midst of the stark and the severe, eloquence. I choose not to complicate my life. Just enough is enough. I seize simplicity. Well, perhaps my new title is Simplicity. As beneath my instructions to myself to begin cleaning, I quote myself with, seize simplicity. So I have just, honoring this day, cleaned my house from one end to the other. It's what I do before I put out my Christmas and Yule decorations, because I do love to decorate the house. I'm never going to be the kind of person that will go all minimalist. I like my stuff. I like my stuff a lot. Not too much, I'd say. As when we moved from our large house to our tiny retirement house, I didn't mourn the release of 3/4 of my stuff. And except for the books that couldn't make the move, I've not missed any of my former stuff. But my current stuff, I'm quite fond of it. And my mantra, after having read Llewellyn's little book, has become, I should only have what I can look after, love, and care for. So what's a description of this frenzy of autumn house cleaning that's part of my spiritual practice at this time of year, and which I'm prompted for every day, every time the year comes to this day? I need an autumn equivalent of the feathering of the nest, which is part of spring's cleaning. Any suggestions? And what about you? What do you do to prepare your cave for the upcoming winter time? And have you ever thought of cleaning as part of a spiritual practice? Well, it seems we pagan folks should be able to glom onto that, as we do understand the mundane as sacred. But can we truly fit cleaning the toilet or emptying the cat's litter box into that paradigm? I think you know what I think, after all. I'm a cleaning Mimi. I wish you all, in this season of Samhain, mirth and reverence, merry part.